Hey there, everyone. This is Darshana Avila, somatic sex and intimacy coach and tantric body worker, and I am here from the 11th day of Power to the P. So, I have undertaken this journey as part of the training that I'm currently doing in the modality called sexological body work. And I'm really excited learning about the more therapeutic applications of hands on genital touch and somatic sex and intimacy coaching, right? So I have some disciplines in my background that have informed my practice up until now. And this training, in addition to being the inspiration behind my mindful masturbation practice, is really been giving me a lot of new angles to consider more. It feels a little more sciencey, which is nice. I get to geek out on some things. And as it happens, right now, the module that I get to geek out on has to do with anal touch. And so today, for my practice, which I did in a hotel room just as yesterday, where I have a roommate, my friend Kim, who you got to meet. She was here, and we did not really fully synchronize our practices today. We both were doing our thing in the space, which is to say, like, I got on my yoga mat while she was in bed reading, and then she got up to meditate while I was chanting, and I moved into my pleasure practice, and eventually she went to take a walk. So it was an interesting experiment of noticing how when somebody else was in the space who I was not really intentionally aligning my rhythms with, I ended up feeling distracted in moments. I had an easier time dropping into myself, to my breath, to my body on a yoga mat, for example, because I've got a lot of experience being on my mat around other people. Less so when it came to the pleasuring. And I think I gave myself like a double challenge because today I decided to focus on what I'm currently focused on in my training, and that is external anal touch. And I have considered my relationship to anal pleasure and stimulation a pretty healthy one. I have gotten a lot of pleasure from that at times in the past, and I've also had periods where it's not really been a big part of my pleasure repertoire. And I would say it's been only a minimal part of my self-pleasure repertoire. So that was an interesting one, to give myself the intention of just staying focused on the exterior. So that meant that I was spending some time like around my ass cheeks and in my inner thighs, perineum, the external surface of the sphincter, and not moving toward any kind of penetration. And what I found actually was that it was kind of boring. No, actually, it was a lot boring. I just was not finding whether it was arousal or even like the same kind of pleasure that I get from touching other parts of my body. It was just kind of like, meh, which did surprise me because internally I have contacted such incredible realms of sensation. It's a highly erogenous zone for me. Tremendous amount of pleasure can come from that. But externally, just not super exciting. And this is actually, I think, fantastic information for me to have, because I would like to have the whole of my body awake and alive and responsive. And this is not total numbness, but it's pretty close. And it's just meh. So I now have a new pathway to inquiry in my self-pleasuring practice. And that's another part of what this is all about. Like, yes, it's beautiful when we get in touch with the places that are instantaneously pleasurable, where we figure out a new way to bring ourselves into more ecstatic states. Equally as important, particularly when we have any kind of trauma or specific issues that we're working through, is to be aware of the places where we don't feel at all, or where we feel pain or discomfort of a certain sort. And so I actually can hold a perspective around this that I found something out today that's very important. Even though it wasn't about me being all orgasmic and blissful, I realized that there is an area of my body that I've just not paid a lot of attention to. And that subtle form of neglect has led to this kind of numb, meh experience. And I don't choose that for myself. So I will be spending some more time here, and I'm saying this on camera to you to help hold myself accountable, because I know it would be really easy to not do that. It's not exciting. Why would I? I know that there are other parts of my body. I could sit here and just massage my neck and shoulders and experience more pleasure than I was receiving between my legs today. So that perspective, we can very easily just go toward what's easy or move toward our pleasure. And I feel like that was a big takeaway for me today from this experience. So more to come. I will be back at home tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to that, to being in my space and having a little more spaciousness in terms of time to give myself some extra loving. Hope your pleasuring is going well, and I will see you soon. Bye.